These images and sounds were produced in a GCSE graphic design class. It's an expression of what can be achieved when inspiration and innovation combine at school. Here, the potential for creativity is as big as cyberspace, and that goes for both pupils and teachers across the curriculum. Jeff Joseph Technology College at Sale Moor in Greater Manchester is considered to be a pioneer of broadband technology. In this programme, we'll be looking at how it's grasping new opportunities to engage pupils and prepare them for a digital future.
At the moment, you can see in the library I've got this GIF file, which is called Logo White.
The school is at the vanguard of change, not necessarily because staff had the foresight to spot the distant dawning of a new age, but because it was desperate to find a way of halting decline. The college decided to install broadband in 1995 and never looked back, thanks to a teacher, now called the director of ICT, Peter Mercer.
I've been involved in ICT since the very early days of the BBC Model A computers coming into school. I was the first person to open a computer box in this school, and I've been pushing it and driving it for a long, long time. But I've also had very, very, very supportive heads who've seen the opportunities, have seen what it can do for some children, and they've supported me.
We'll also be seeing how Jeff Joseph College developed links outside school. It shares resources with local primaries, including Brooklands, which is taking its own lead in ICT, investing in equipment and specialist staff. And it took the initiative to open a community learning centre for those who missed out on a digital education. BECTA, the British Educational, Communications and Technology Agency, ranks the Jeff Joseph College in the top 5 of all secondaries because of its work in and out of school. We visited the college to discover what marks it out, and we took a man from BECTA with us. The college takes pupils from 2 local authority areas, 40% from Manchester and 60% from Trafford, a selective authority. The head teacher at Jeff Joseph is Kathy Lever.
I think it would be fair to say that when we were first established as a technology college, that very much the thinking was developing the ICT. Then, due to the developments in education and due to the changes of employment and what employers are looking for and providing students with the skills necessary to exist in the outside world, ICT has been pushed forward within the college. We've also found with our students that they are motivated, it does engage them in their learning.
ICT development began with a 2 megabits broadband connection. The impact on motivation was marked and immediate.
12 years ago, we were probably considered to be a failing school. We had an intake of 90, and the roofs were leaking. It wasn't a very comfortable place to be. When Grant Maintain got Specialist Technology College Trust status, and things have been on the up and up and up since then.
The school now has a 10 megabits broadband connection, which provides software and internet access for all lessons across the curriculum. Members of staff also have access to the network from home.
This is the hub of our school network. Got a range of switches here which connect to different rooms in different parts of the school. Basically all the computers in the school come through these switches. And on my left, I've got a rack of servers, something like 13 servers in there. Most of them are doing different jobs. We've got 2 admin servers, a couple of curriculum servers. We've got an e-portal server. We've got another server that filters our internet traffic for us. So, a number of servers, all doing a number of different jobs for us.
The ICT transformation is reflected in the story of Leslie Anson, who arrived at the school with problems reading and writing and an expectation of working in a local factory. He's now about to graduate in business and information systems and is looking forward to a career in web design after he returns from a tour of Asia.
My spelling and my sort of maths and mathematical skills and that weren't the best in sort of for my age. And I think using PCs, it just sort of helps you overcome that because you've got a calculator on your desktop, you've got spell checkers and that type of thing. So it's just, it gives you that extra confidence really to be able to type a document in 5 minutes rather than worrying about your spelling and spending half an hour on it.
The technology tools making the biggest impact are interactive whiteboards. Every member of staff is equipped with laptops to create their lessons.
Okay. Now I've jumbled up 3 events from the first scene from Macbeth. Can anyone tell me what order that should be in? What should it start with? Monique?
Macbeth meets 2 murders alone.
Macbeth meets 2 murderers alone. That should be first. Good. What comes after that, please? Matthew? Right, first of all, he persuades them that Banquo is their enemy. And then finally, once he's done that, of course, it makes sense that he uses psychological pressure to manipulate the murderers.
English teacher Frank Farrell embraces change and still finds use for his horn.
The techniques that I've been using are very, very simple. I can teach people them, and I do teach people them in training. 5 or 10 minutes for most of those things that I did today. Hyperlinking, drag and drop, gap fills. I could teach in very short space of time. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's not anywhere near as complicated as it looks to learn how to do it. That frees you up to think of, well, how can I exploit this technique in a creative and effective way?
So it made a huge difference to your teaching?
Absolutely. It's completely different to what I would have been teaching just 3 or 5 years ago.
Does it make the teaching more rewarding?
Yes, because for me, teaching is about orchestrating the experience of the children in the classroom, and this gives me a whole new tool that I can use and put together to create just the sort of experience I'm trying to create.
Can you actually perceive a different response amongst the pupils?
Yeah, as soon as you get something up on the screen, you get a lot more interest from the children.
It's easier to see because if you're a visual learner, all of it's in front of you and it's linked to the laptop, so the teacher can tell the whole class rather than go around individually.
You find the language quite difficult?
Yeah, but we've got a little translator thing. There's like a line-up of all the words and it tells you what they mean. So you can just tell and see what they mean.
It sinks in more easily.
Yeah.
Peter Wayne from Bector is impressed by the way interest is stimulated in Shakespeare, but believes there's scope for further interactivity.
What you would want to see eventually, possibly, is pupils using the interactivity of the whiteboard. We may have got to a situation where the pupils are going to do that, where the teacher's bringing pupils up to the front of the classroom and they're actually engaging with the rest of the class, utilising the interactivity.
Graphic design is an obvious beneficiary of ICT. At the Jeff Joseph College, imagination and creativity are unleashed with the help of iPhoto and iMovie programmes. Pupils have won national Bector Awards for digital video and digital music after being inspired by the technology and their teacher, Stuart Pybus.
You actually physically get news thrown at you from the front line of war. The point of this lesson is for the students to analyse, to research, and to use digital media in a way that allows them to express their opinions and to give an informed opinion about what is going on in the world around them, about things that are important to them, or alternatively, things that they see just passing them by. There's a lot happening in the world today, a lot happening in the news every single day. I work with students who all of a sudden have that desire to do something a little bit more and a little bit different, and you've got to keep ahead of the game with that. You've got to keep looking, and you've got to keep thinking, and also it's got to be real. It's not realistic, but it's got to have emotion in there as well.
We're just finding images from the internet on the news and then importing them into iPhoto library so that we can select them and put them on like an animation, a film strip, so you can see one after the other.
Well, the teacher's a very impressive teacher that really has a vision about what he wants to get out of his lessons. He's very clear about his objectives and what he wants for the students. But more than that, really, is the way the students just naturally utilise ICT to enhance their learning. There wasn't any student there balked about what they were going to do. It was obvious to me that that's just what they do. They use ICT and it's embedded totally in their learning.
ICT and geography came together for a competition called Experience Pakistan, organised by an international computer firm, which involved creating a digital video. The Jeff Joseph entry won, and 3 pupils were given the chance to tour Pakistan with geography teacher Sue Griffiths.
Obviously the content is important and we had to follow quite strict criteria, but it has to engage the person that's watching the presentation, and so the ICT is paramount really, using it in a way that catches people's attention and keeps them watching.
I suppose it demonstrates how pupils can use and exploit the skills they've learned here in the ICT class in all sorts of other classes.
Absolutely, it's used across the curriculum, and certainly in a lot of subjects it's a very valuable research tool. For students that find it harder to get things down in writing, or if it takes a long time, it makes a whole difference to the way they tackle their schoolwork and obviously their attainment at the end of the day.
Of course, the winning pupils produced a DVD of their visit.
It was really, really good. It was an amazing experience.
What was the best part?
The cultural show that one of the schools put on for us. They did quite a few dances for us and songs, and at the end we all got to get up and dance with them. So it was almost like a big party.
It was better than the Khyber Pass, was it?
The Khyber Pass was very interesting, but I enjoyed mixing with the actual kids from the school.
Pupils studying ICT as a subject are piloting the Diploma in Digital Applications, or DIDA, a totally paperless exam. It comes in 4 units, the equivalent of 4 GCSEs, although pupils can complete 2 units, which counts as 2 GCSEs. The diploma demands an ability to prepare and present databases, surveys and reports using a wide range of programming on an e-portfolio, which can be accessed by tutors and examiners.
We had to produce a website including all the projects that we had to do, like a brainstorm and a plan. So what we had to do, we just had to introduce links to the file so that the markers could examine it.
We had to create an e-portfolio to present all the work that we did. So we had to create a home page that had information about us and our centre numbers and things. And then we had to put all the work into one contents page.
So everyone's had to do a database, a survey, a letter, presentation?
Yeah. We all had to complete all of these tasks.
What was the most difficult part?
It was the database because it was quite confusing to do. Very complicated.
The diploma is run by EdExcel and overseen by the Northwest Learning Grid. Their project manager is Diane Lee.
Really, DIDA is a qualification that will engage creative uses of ICT rather than what has been traditionally done, more business-related ICT. So it will move away from purely office-based environment IT and move into digital content as well.
So you can see the logic of doing a paperless exam for an ICT qualification.
Yes.
Has it got any other implications? What's the future hold?
I think the future holds a number of different options for this paperless qualification system. What we will do is we will be able to test and see the rigidity of the platform of an e-portfolio. And certainly developments at the moment are suggesting that will be embedded ICT qualifications into English, science and maths in the future.
Layers always go in above the one that you've got selected at the moment. So I've got the background layer selected, I click on Insert New Layer, and Layer 3 goes in above the background but below Actions. As usual, I have done all this as well using Captivate. So once I've talked you through it...
The diploma is being taught using the Captivate programme. Pupils here are being shown how to improve their skills using Flash. The whiteboard demonstration is being captured in the system, so anyone who doesn't take it all in now can call up the lesson later.
It's a really kind of helpful program for this kind of work because, I'd say I'm quite good with computers, but if you get stuck on any of the programs that you're not used to, you have the Captivate files and you can just go through the whole film and you can just look at exactly what you're supposed to do and you can pause it at any time you want. So you can pause it, do some of the work and then go back to it.
Quite interested in what they were doing, this new award that they're piloting here, because it looks very innovative. It's sort of developing children's creativity. It seemed to be very inclusive, what I was told, that pupils could learn 2 modules or take 2 modules or 4 modules. And I thought it was very relevant to getting children with very high ICT skills that they've got here, a qualification that will be useful for them in the world of work as it is today.